History of chicken layer. Chicken layer. So ano nga ba ang chicken layer? Chicken layer or layer poultry farming means raising egg-laying poultry birds for the purpose of commercial egg production. Layer chickens are such a special species of hens, which need to be raised from when they are 1 day old. They remain laying eggs continuously till they're 72 to 78 weeks of age. Laying hen is a common term for a female-grown chicken that is kept primarily for laying eggs. Some chickens are raised for meat, while others are raised to produce eggs, and some are dual purposes. So may mga manok na kung saan ay ginagamit para lang sa meat, pwede rin sa egg, at meron ding tinatawag na dual purpose. The commercial egg-laying industry is comprised of over 273 million laying hens, of which about 237 million produce stable eggs, the eggs you buy at the supermarket, and the rest were for fertile hatching eggs are as replacement for the laying flocks. What are the origins of today's egg-laying hen? Domesticated fowl like evolved from jungle fowl in Southeast Asia and spread west towards India, Africa, and eventually to Europe through trade and military conquest. This may have induced the birds to lay more eggs as a result and even beyond the normal laying eggs. So, ang laying eggs ay nagsimula sa domesticated fowl and evolved from jungle fowl in Southeast Asia at nag-spread na ito towards India, Africa, and eventually to Europe. Egyptians were the first known culture to produce chickens and eggs in large-scale production reminiscent of today's factory farms. So, dun pala sa Egypt, ang kauna-unahang nag-culture to produce chickens and eggs in large-scale production reminiscence. The Romans created specialized chicken farms that utilized hen houses and other methods to keep predators at bay and infectious disease from gaining a foothold whenever animals are maintained in close confinement. The keeping and breeding of fowl eventually spread to Europe, where it was common for individual households to raise birds for meat or eggs. All chickens produce eggs that can be used by people for food by providing proper diets and environment. Specifically, light chickens can be stimulated to produce quantities of nutritious eggs. Birds with white earlobes tend to produce white eggs, and those with red earlobes usually produce brown eggs. Therefore, any pure breed of chicken can be kept for egg production. However, modern egg production hybrids far surpass the pure breeds in egg production and feed efficiency. These birds will produce well over 300 eggs per year and will convert about 2 pounds of feed into a dozen large of eggs.
Breeds in chicken layer. White egg laying hens. This type of hens are comparatively smaller in size, relative eats less food, and the color of eggshell is white. Brown egg laying hens. Brown egg laying hens are relatively larger in size. They eat more foods compared to white egg layers. Lay bigger eggs than other laying breeds. Eggshell is brown color. Layer hen selection. You have to keep in mind some essential information before selecting the layer hens for your poultry farming business. You have to select those breeds which are suitable for your layer poultry farming business and can produce well in your area. For commercial eggs production, you have to choose highly productive laying hens correctly. All type of hens do not produce equal number of eggs. The chosen breeds must have to have a good production capability. Keeping chicks for layer poultry farming. During the first weeks after birth, many chicks do not want to drink water due to transporting them from one place to another. So you have to make adequate water drinking system in their brother house, and you have to train them for drinking water. Mix 5% glucose with water so that they can easily get energy. Provide them any types of high quality multivitamins. Vaccination and it's important for layer poultry farming. Timely vaccination make diseases resistant power in the body of chick, help to keep the hen free from infective poultry diseases. Disease prevalence will be less, mortality rate will reduce, and low mortality rate equals more production equals more profit. Keeping growing chicks, you have to maintain growing layering chickens. You have to provide the growing chicks special care until they reach 4 to 5 weeks of age. After brooding, serve them good quality pellet feed. It will make good results in the future. Egg production for layer poultry farming. Within the first 20 weeks of age, about 5% of hens start laying eggs. About 10% birds start laying at their 21st weeks of age. When they reach 26 to 30 weeks of age, they produce highly, although it may be different depending on their strain. After laying a maximum number of eggs, they usually stop laying for a few days, and after this period, their egg productive might reduce slowly. Feeding for layer poultry farming. You can buy feed from your local market or you make the feed at your own house. Protein, vitamins and minerals very important for laying hens which is affecting the quality of eggs, layer poultry fertility and layer birds health. Water management for layer poultry farming. Chickens' health depend on the supply of pure, clean, and fresh drinking water. You have to provide adequate water according to the demand of your laying hens. Determine a suitable place to keep the water pot inside the poultry house. Brooding for layer poultry farming. Day old to 6 weeks. When a hen sits still to prolonged period without eating or drinking normally, she is said to be broody. This is a normal process during which the hen stops producing eggs in order to incubate a nest full of eggs. When the eggs hatch, the hen then cares for the chicks by keeping them warm and finding feed and water for them. Growing layer birds 6 to 20 weeks. Once chicks can control their body temperature, they still need to be protected from climate extremes. At this stage, they receive pullet grower feed, which is less expensive and contains only 15% to 17% protein and 7 less energy than the starter feed. Moving the layer birds. Pullets are usually moved into their laying quarters at 16 to 18 weeks of age before they reach sexual maturity. This ensures that they are settled in before egg production begins. Adult layer birds 20 to up to 78 weeks. Adult hens are the real workers of industry. For best performance, they need to be fed carefully and kept in the house at 21 to 28 degrees Celsius. This means that the hen houses are designed to keep as near as possible to this temperature year-round. Egg collecting and grading. Mechanical collection of eggs is common in modern layer farms. It takes about 26 hours for each egg to develop and each hen lays an egg a little later each day.
The poultry diseases and prevention. Many factors can contribute to diseases in your flock. By being aware of their causes and how they spread, you can put practices into place to reduce the risk of disease occurring. Disease can often lead to reduced performance in areas such as breeding, growth rate, feed conversion, and egg production. Disease can also affect appearance in show birds and raising ability in pigeons' flocks. Although there are many possible causes of disease, I will start in the diseases affecting birds. First, infectious agents. Second, environmental conditions. And lastly, stress. Infectious agents are living organisms that cause disease or illness and can be spread from bird to bird. This includes the germs, that includes bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Second is the external parasites, that concludes lice and mites. Lastly, internal parasites, that concludes worms, coccidiosis, and blackheads. Environmental conditions. Some environmental conditions can also make birds sick. Unlike infectious agents, the illness is not spread between birds. When the environment affects the health of birds, it is usually because the animals are unable to the conditions. Environmental factors that can cause disease includes poisons, injury, nutritional deficiencies, poor air quality, temperature extremes, physical stress, exposure to disease, carrying vermin and insects such as rodents and darkling beetles. Stress. Severe physical stress can reduce the bird's ability to resist disease. Flocks rely on people to give them appropriate feed and clean and uncontaminated water, appropriate environmental conditions, and shelter. Without this, birds may suffer stress from fear, malnutrition, dehydration, overcrowding, dirty conditions, and extremes in climatic conditions. For the next topic, we will discuss the poultry diseases, prevention, and management. Routine preventative measures form the next line of defense against disease after providing a clean and hygienic environment through good poultry farming practices. Preventative measures include vaccination, parasite control, identifying and treating sick birds, separating multi-age flocks, practicing routine biosecurity procedures between flocks and staff working with them. Vaccination. Vaccination can prevent many poultry diseases. Follow a suitable vaccination program or only buy appropriately vaccinated stock. You can request vaccination certificates from your supplier when purchasing chicks or pullets. Poultry vaccinations include avian encephalomyelitis, chicken anemia, egg drop syndrome, fowl cholera, fowl pox, infectious bronchitis, infectious bursal disease, infectious coryza, infectious laryngotracheitis, and Newcastle disease.